you can only prepare, but the reality is different. At some point, I would say to myself that how could I do this to somebody's daughter?
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, honestly, because sometimes my wife says, when she's talking about a second child, again, I'm like, I pity you. Stop it.
Don't do it.
Stop it, dear. Come on. Joe, dear, Joe.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluwajoba. If it's your first time here, welcome. Please consider subscribing and joining the family. And if you end up enjoying this video at any point, please do so to like this video and leave your comments in the comment section below. Guys, from the title, you can already tell what we're going to be talking about today. I'm with two very, very pleasant and important gentlemen. To my left is the doctor himself, my pastor, someone I really, really respect and honor. His name is Dr. Stephen, and he has given me the honor of being here today.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, sir. And here I have Joseph. How do I describe Joseph? He's like my friend's husband. That's how I met him. But after that, we've had like conversations here and there.
Right.
And he's also giving me the honor of coming here. He has a YouTube channel with his wife as well. I'm going to leave it linked in the description box below, so you guys should check them out. Amazing content, love, marriage, those kind of things,
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so guys, today we're going to be talking about fatherhood, everything. Just think of the mother version. One of the things that inspired this video was because I thought usually when it comes to having a child and being new parents, people tend to talk more to the mothers. I mean, understandably so. It could be because I say it's because
I don't know anything about understanding anything. We are as important as the mothers are. We don't need to put more respect on fathers. But anyways,
don't get me wrong. I know, of course, you guys are just as important. But I think the reason is maybe because we literally carry the children. But then again, from experience, I would say that they go through the same emotions. Okay, not maybe the same exact emotion, but they also go through some kind of emotions. And I feel like their emotions, their feelings are also valid, just like ours are as mothers. And that was what inspired this video. And I thought to invite Dr. Stephen. He has a 3-year-old. Yeah, he has a 3-year-old, and Joseph has a 4-month-old.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was amazing.
And funny enough, we are all parents to boys. Right. It wasn't intentional, but that's what happened.
Right.
But yeah. So,
there's no way that could have been intentional.
But yeah, so that's why we're here today, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to leave your comments in the comment section. On everything I'm going to be talking about, and like this video. You see that like button, click it and subscribe if you haven't. Let's dive right in. Okay, so I know that when you got married, you had your expectation. Okay, before you got married, you had your expectations on fatherhood, on being a father, having your children. Would you say that the expectations were the same when you got married? That's before your wife took him. Okay. So was it the same before you got married and after you got married? Before your wife got pregnant.
Oh, okay.
It was still the same.
Well, I won't say it was exactly the same, but it wasn't entirely different. I think it wasn't entirely different from the expectations I had. I think it just came with more work. That's
even before your wife got pregnant, I'm saying.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So just the both of us.
Okay.
Having to deal with staying with someone you've never, stayed with before, lived before your entire life. So that, of course, that's the only answer I have right now.
So it was almost the same, but not exactly the same.
Not exactly the same. It wasn't too different, like I said.
Maybe like an evolved kind of
expectation.
Because
pretty much.
You have a wife, your lifestyle is quite different.
It's quite different, exactly.
So you can already start to think that now that my life is different with just one person, what is going to look like with another person.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's more like an evolved
expectation.
And there's expectation and there's reality.
Yeah.
So they might not necessarily be too different, but there will be
some sort of difference.
Exactly. So
okay, so now let's now graduate to when your wife then got pregnant.
Mhm.
What is the way Joseph
you were that moment.
I think it's because it's still fresh in
Yeah,
his mind,
it is,
right?
yeah.
No, ask me.
So when your wife got pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
how did the expectations evolve?
I think that's where the difference now started showing more.
Okay.
You know, because you know how pressure has a way of, I won't say bringing out people's truth, because that's not necessarily the case. Pressure just has a way of
Like elevating or
pretty
shining more light.
Exactly. So certain things you probably thought, oh, I have this under control. You know,
Got it.
it's nothing. And then pressure comes, you know, and you're like, oh, I didn't know this was there, or maybe I knew, but I didn't know it was up to this level. Yeah, so I think that's what happened during the pregnancy period, pretty much.
And in fact, you might have heard different stories because it's the reality is different.
It is.
Depending on from one woman to another.
another, yeah.
Different. So even if you've had stories or that this is what pregnancy looks like, it's not going to be exactly the same for you.
Trust
so it's
me.
a new kind of reality
Exactly.
that you have to deal with.
That's
You could read books about it before that time, but the reality on ground is different.
It's different, especially when it's your first child.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think I like the fact that it's still fresh. How did your wife tell you? I think that's where you should start. How did your wife tell you she was pregnant?
All right. So I was already having this suspicion.
Okay.
That something was.
Oh.
I mean, you should.
Yeah,
You
because
did the work.
because then, and I told her, can we check if maybe, and so I think the day she told me, it wasn't like a verbal kind of communication. So I
Okay.
woke up in the morning, and where I would usually go, the first side you turn to, and I saw this.
The test.
Yeah, and of course, maybe I already understood what it should be like, or maybe I don't. I can't remember, but I think when I saw it, I had to call. Okay, so what's going on? I see two different lines, and then of course the excitement was there. What at that time?
Yeah.
Now the excitement was different, because I'm sure you asked me later. What happens after that? But that moment was like a defining moment.
Well, how can you explain how you felt seeing, like, okay, when you saw it, you kind of were like, okay, maybe it is, but when she told you that this is it, can you explain?
I mean, I don't know if it's a combination of scream or a combination of shout. The joy was so much. I was so delighted. Yeah, and it was so painful because she was at work. And I felt like, should I take my car?
I'll go there.
That kind of moment. And but of course, when she came back, we continued with the excitement.
Joy.
So it was so joyful. I cannot really explain it. I wish I could, but I can't.
I'm pretty sure we all understand.
Yeah, I know, right?
But it was quite exciting moment, and it's a joy of every father.
It is.
To have that kind of moment. But then you're not so conscious of you don't care about if it's a boy or a girl, but you just see that something has been conceived, and it's really exciting.
I think my story would be a bit different because my wife and I pretty much had plans to. So we got married in April 2022, and then we had plans to start having kids 2023. But this is where we played ourselves, or literally took a gun and shot ourselves in the feet. So I'm not going to go into details, but ballpoint is that I don't remember the exact month, of course, but I know it was one time where she didn't see what she ought to see.
We're always looking for something.
And I'm like, so when she came and said, "Baby, I've not seen." I'm like, "Where did you keep it, fam?" Go and look for it. Where did you? Because I know we've already had plans, wanting to travel around the world, do some touring, like young couples, young love, fresh out the box. Yeah, we have plans, And then she said that she didn't, she has not seen it, and I said, you know what? Me, I like confirmations. I don't like, all these assumptions. So I I went down straight to the pharmacy and got
What it is.
a test kit or whatever it's called. And then we came back and then she did it and then she came out of the bathroom and she was looking at me with like this shock in her eye. I was like, what's up? And she handed it to me. I saw 2 lines.
You already knew what
I knew it because I had already done some research.
Okay.
I'm not a child. I mean, come on.
No, some people actually don't know. It's not about being a child. Yeah, some people just don't know.
Right,
Some people just don't know.
Well, okay. Well, me, I knew already, Sha. I already knew what to do. Maybe because I have sisters who have given birth, and so I guess that already helped my knowledge of it. And so she came and showed me, and then I saw 2 lines. I was like, wow. So this is a real deal, you know. But to be honest, I think it took me some time to fully accept the fact that I was now going to become a father. You know, earlier than I had, hoped or expected I was going to.
Yeah. And I feel like this is actually valid because, in the scheme of things, we see when you tell someone, for example, in Joe's instance, where I don't want to get pregnant now, and I suddenly fall pregnant, and I'm like,
I really fall pregnant.
And I suddenly fall pregnant, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not ready for this. Somebody will be like, oh my God, don't say that, you know. Like, but the thing is, I'm grateful that I can fall pregnant, but then again, I have something that like at the end of the day, God has the plan, but then again, we have our plans as well, right? So what I'm saying is, the fact that it took you time to come around is also valid. It's not. I don't know. I feel like maybe some people might look at it like, what's the big deal?
No, I mean, humans, we have plans. But the council of the world stands.
Yes.
Exactly.
So I think it's okay sometimes to feel that I have a different plan. Now this is coming, but I'm not rejecting the default.
Yeah, but I mean, to take you a bit of time
to come around it.
Maybe I should have to use that the test kit. I still have it.
I still have mine too.
I think we all do.
Yeah, I still have mine too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will have it for a long time.
I'm going to show him when he grows up. That's how we knew you were coming.
This was it.
Yeah, this was a proof.
In that moment, I know that you said it took you a while to come around. So when you finally did come around, how did you feel? Like, can you express how you felt? Well,
to be honest, I think it was a mixture of emotions. First, it was like, wow, so this is really happening, you know. So it's like, it's a beautiful thing, no doubt, but I don't know. I'm always thinking more of the responsibility part. I don't know. My brain.
You're a man. That's how men think.
Right. So I'm always just, and I think I was just more conscious of the fact. I was thinking more of from the perspective of me being able to
cater for you.
No, not necessarily cater, but you know, would I be able to groom this child in, because I've always had expectations, I have hopes. I see too many messed up children outside, and I want to have a different, you know,
you want to do it
better. I'm not going to say that I had the best or I came from the best home in that sense, you know. So I want to do it differently this time, and so I was asking myself, am I ready for this task? You know, it's a lot of work. But then again, I went back to my father in heaven. My father, exactly. And I said, Lord, if you give me this gift, or if you have given me this gift, then I know you've empowered me to do it. So I think that was it for me.
I mean, that's what the Bible says at the end of the day. He won't give us that which we cannot do.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, we're just custodians.
Yeah.
Right. But just really, that's it. He's the real owner of that child.
We are caretakers.
Exactly.
Okay, let's fast forward a bit to when you went for the scan. Did you go for the scan?
Yeah.
Did you go for the scan?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So tell me, how did you feel? Because the reason I'm asking this question is, you know, we've watched a lot of movies where we see the father. So I want
to you said movie, yeah. I'm trying to remember if I also.
Oh, that was 3 years ago. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember, but I think it wasn't this kind of expression. I already had that expression before, you know, but I was, you know, more interested in seeing if there's how dates, you know, those kinds of information. As the baby doing?
Yeah.
Does it look like in the room? It wasn't, and if you've seen a scan, it's not like the picture is so perfect or clear, but you can actually see that something is forming.
Yeah.
You know, those were quite amazing to really know that something was forming, and then there's the beat, and it's still alive. You know, this kind of curiosity and excitement. didn't look the whole because it's not a movie, you know.
It's real life.
But just like
It's real life.
curiosity, you want to know, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Is the baby breathing?
Mhm.
You know, is something going on fine? But
Right.
there's no problem.
Right.
You know, these are the questions you
That will
get after
go
that
to
kind
your
of
mind.
curiosity. It's what I experienced.
I think for me it was pretty much the same. Maybe it's just a male thing or a man thing where we're just always very concerned about the well-being, of course, of our wives, or
Yeah.
So for me it was also it was beautiful, to be honest, because wow, this person just came from me, and this is with my child, and I think I teared up a bit, yeah, because I was emotional at some point, Now I'm thinking about it. I had many emotional moments when this baby was in the womb, and that moment was one of the times where I started seeing something just moving.
Yeah. And then you hear the
heartbeat, teared up a bit, but as a man,
I mean, it's amazing even for us that are carrying the child. You're like, oh my God, this is what is actually inside of me.
Exactly. And then your curiosity is top notch, like is up there. You really want to know what's it going to look like. Is it a boy?
In real life,
Yeah, because at that first moment you can't tell if it's a boy or
girl.
So there's a whole lot happening that first scan.
All right, so let's go into pregnancy. Pregnancy.
I'm shaking my leg.
How were our cravings? Emotional hoo-ha-ha? I don't know how to ask this question, so I think you guys should just go.
No, don't worry. My wife is the last born to start with,
Okay.
So she's dramatic normally by default. It comes with the.
I know his wife. His wife is dramatic.
So it pretty much comes with the with the title and all that. It was a lot of drama. Don't open the fridge. Me
Why would not open the fridge?
because first of all I like to eat a lot.
Okay.
So my from work I'm eating. I like opening that fridge to check what's here that I can eat. And then there was a lot of don't open the fridge. The smell is disturbing me. And then there was a lot of puking. And then there was a lot of I don't want to eat this food. And there was a lot of I don't like this perfume. I remember she gave my Zara perfume out because she didn't like the smell or the scent or whatever it's called. There was just a lot of drama, really, to be honest. But yeah, it was exciting drama at the end of the day.
Well, how did you feel in the fact that I know that people, different mothers or different wives have their own cravings. Like some of them would say, I want the yam that they are cooking in the 4th Street, for example.
My wife didn't do that.
So in those instances where that maybe it's sometimes it's a stretch.
Yeah.
How did you hold through? Because I know that for me, sometimes when you're doing something, you almost want to lash out what the hell is this? And if I'm being honest, there might be those times. It's just we have maybe over time learned to
control and
So in those instances, how were you feeling? What was going on in your hair? When she asked, I don't know if she asked for outrageous things or
she did a couple of times, but considering that first of all when they're abroad, so you don't have access to so many things that you probably exactly. And then we had amazing friends who would come over and then they would cook stuff or make stuff for her. But there were times where of course she would want some things that
some exclusive things.
I like that word exclusive. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know how I'm supposed to get this for you. But I think I learned patience a lot that period. A lot. So if you didn't learn patience during that period, I don't think you will ever have it again, to be honest.
I mean, maybe the first layer of patience.
I was about to say maybe the first layer.
First layer, right? Yeah. I like that word, first layer.
Did your wife have cravings? Did she vomit? Did she?
No, vomit, no. But cravings, yes. When he talked about it, it was just
because it happened to
I
you
could
too.
relate. My wife, there's a particular role on her life, and she liked it.
Okay. Before she got pregnant.
Exactly, same
The
thing.
moment I became pregnant, she didn't like this is smelling bad. I mean, but you liked it.
This thing before, we'll go to the store together and get these perfumes together. All of a sudden, you don't like them again.
But from other people's story, of course, it's not exactly the same, but you already anticipate certain
Some
things.
things, yes.
And that is one of it. some things will not just make sense to them anymore.
Mhm.
They will just not like the things they used to like. And there are things they don't like before they start to like.
Right.
So I saw those kind of craving and I was a bit prepared for it. But the truth is that no matter how prepared you are,
And you can never
there
be
will
too
be times
prepared.
when you feel like, oh my gosh, what else can I do?
There were times I wanted to just book
God
it.
help
If
me.
I wish I could have just booked a flight back to Nigeria. I just want to breathe. Man. Honestly.
Let the fathers breathe.
Let us breathe,
I think I like the fact that we're hearing this father's person.
but we obviously cannot do that. So
No, you cannot.
we just have to, stay put.
Was there any point where he said, what did I put myself into like this?
Was there
We're
a
gonna
time?
get there. No, we're not there yet. We'll get there. I think I got there.
I overgot there. I overgot there. It was I did a lot of times.
Yeah, because there's emotion. The emotions are active, and you have to be patient as a man. Whatever you do can have good consequences.
Yeah, and bad
The consequences are bad anyway. So, if you don't manage your emotions very well, it could affect not only the woman,
Yeah.
it will also affect the baby. So,
we're right, true.
you
True.
have to be on top of your game. It's not easy, even when you should be angry about certain things. You have to just take it easy. So for me, the best moments, in those moments, I relied on God. Just help me. I
can't do it alone.
I also have emotions, right? And
And at that moment, you feel like your emotions don't matter.
doesn't matter. True. It doesn't matter.
Very true.
No matter what it is, you might be right, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't count.
And for, of course, for me, I literally drive out night after night. When your wife wakes you up in the middle of the night, I want to get this.
Wow.
And then so, but there are stores that open for 24
Yeah.
You
24/7.
just have to drive there quickly, because she can't sleep without it.
That is
And if she doesn't sleep, the baby
Naturally, it doesn't make sense
Mhm.
for you as a man. I mean, you can wait till tomorrow, but she cannot wait.
No, because even says you can wait till tomorrow.
But she can't wait.
And the more you explain, the more it's like you're not making any sense to her, and maybe you just don't love her, and before you know, she can start crying.
But then let me speak for the women. You know that at that point, it's not like we can explain what's happening to us either.
Yeah, I understand. And also, I heard though.
We can't really explain. Like for example, for me, I didn't like the smell of fish. For the first trimester, I didn't eat fish, meat, chicken, egg, anything protein. I didn't eat it.
But before
just
pregnancy, you like
Of course, I eat everything. So even we can't explain.
Yeah.
Because I remember sometimes my mom would be like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I don't know. I honestly cannot explain what's wrong with me."
and sometimes you just start to cry. And you
I had
ask
that
why
one.
you
Yes, I
crying.
was very-
I don't know.
I had that a lot.
I think it's the way you are saying it.
Like, why exactly why are you crying?
The
Why
hormones are heightened.
or why did you shout at me now?
I don't
Why
know.
did you get upset? What did I do? And then at that point I'm like, nah, logic is
It's not
this
working
is not
here.
working. This is absolutely logical. So there's no point trying to figure out why she's even doing what she's doing.
Oh
So,
my god.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining I might not know what I was going through. How did you prepare for the D-Day? We fast forward.
woo, that D-Day, right? Well, thankfully, of course, like I said, I have sisters who have given birth. So most times we call them and ask, hey, what's going on? Like what they'll ask how many weeks is it? But I think it was just more of a mental preparation, to be honest. So this is getting more real, and this is coming like in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I remember there was a time I stood because we had already like set up the baby's cot in the room. And I've not said this out. It's a very, very vulnerable thing. But I just stood beside his cot and, just thinking of hearing, babies cry very soon. And I just got teary. I'm not capping. I just got teary and emotional. Like, wow, this is real.
This is real.
In a couple of days, this young man will come back home with us.
Mhm.
And so I think it was just more of a mental preparation, to be honest.
Would you say at that point was when it hit you that? At
Um,
what point did it like? Oh my god! I'm actually going to be somebody's father.
to be honest, I think it hit me from the very first I heard the news. Yeah, maybe because men. Okay, I don't know if I would speak for the
General,
yeah, but for me, the moment I hear something, I begin to, do everything to just align with that, maybe new title or new person or whatever that I'm going to become or that would be whatever it is. So I think from the very first I heard it, I was already preparing my mind.
Like this is it.
Yeah, this is it. I'm someone's
Yeah,
back.
I agree with that. I think for me as well.
Mhm.
The reality hits you at different points.
Mm-hmm.
Gets more
Starting
real.
from the first
Mm-hmm.
time you hear the news.
Mm-hmm.
The first trimester, it hits you again. When your wife cannot sleep at night because the baby is turning, cannot be a father. This boy is going to be a reality.
That was another emotional point.
At different stages, the reality
Hits you.
like you mentioned, I think for us as men, we like to plan things.
Sure.
We like to plan things through.
Mm-hmm.
We're not so. I would say I'm not a very active kind of person. I'm proactive. I plan it. So at each stage, for the D-Day, it was more like mental preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will be honest, I hate the sight of blood. And then you know that in this part of the world, you have to be in the
You
room.
have to be there. You
have
can choose not to be there. Though.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know you could choose that.
I think you can choose not to be there.
I don't think I'd have chosen that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can choose not to
And
be
I've
there.
heard
bro.
stories. I spoke with a friend of mine who had a baby. And he told me that when he got in there, in fact, he was more scared than his wife.
Did he faint?
Then they told him, if you want to faint,
Najem,
faint to this side, don't come to this side.
Because you're not the pregnant one.
Oh my god.
So that kind of preparation was what I was doing. Like, how am I going to handle
The sight of blood.
sight of blood? How am I going to handle, my wife in pain?
Mm-hmm.
How can I handle this? So this kind of preparation was what I was doing towards the D-Day.
the D-Day.
Yeah. So more like mental preparation, preparing myself to have physical strength to be able to stand. And if you don't manage your emotion very well, you can imagine the impact on your
On your wife,
right.
yes. At
Actually
such
going
a
through that
year.
thing. So, that kind of preparation was going on in my head for that period.
And I think that's a very good point because so being a man in this context now requires that you're not just going to be strong for yourself.
Yes, yeah.
You now have to be strong for her. So there could be times where she's just probably scared. Like, oh, I don't know what's happening to me. Even though your mind is doing
Yeah.
you just have to put up this, don't worry, everything is
Everything will be fine.
fine. Even if in reality you're
freaking
freaking out.
I think I can relate to what Joseph just said because I remember when I was in the delivery room and the midwife kept saying, not the midwife, the doctor kept saying, push this baby, and I'm saying, what do you think I've been doing since morning? Like, you think I've been joking?
You give them that answer.
No, that's what I said in my mind. So I looked at my husband and I was like, babe, I'm sorry. I can't, I'm really sorry. And he was holding my hands and he said, babe, you can do it. You can do it. Just push one last time. You can do it. And just that last time, I pushed it and then they yanked the baby off. So I can imagine what he was going through because I had not slept. I had vomited in the morning and he hasn't slept as well, So I can really imagine but he had to be strong for us.
Yeah. Because imagine him freaking out. I mean, that'd be weird.
Yeah. We're still going to talk about this detail. I know that maybe you have to be strong. You have to be strong for your wife and your babies. But in hindsight, explain to me how you felt. Not being strong for her. You as Joseph and you as Joseph, how did you feel in that moment? Because everybody's like, oh, it's an exciting day. Everybody's happy. The baby is almost here or here. But from the moment when your wife said it's happening,
Right.
to the moment when maybe they brought
The baby.
the baby out.
Yeah.
Explain to me how you felt as a father, as a man.
Well, so my own case was pretty different because like that day that he came, we didn't even think he was going to come. We pretty much knew he was going to come already.
Okay.
But that day she was just supposed to go for another test,
Okay.
you know, to see
What's happening?
what's happening, all of that. And then, you know, she calls me and says, I may have to stay back, you know. I think it's coming soon. I was like, what's going on? I don't understand what's
Who
happening.
is coming?
What's going on? I thought you said we were just going to do a test.
Test.
I said, no, like, he's coming now. And then I had to rush down to the hospital. And before I even got there, I didn't experience it. The baby had come out.
Okay.
So it pained me, to be honest, because I genuinely wanted to be there while, you know, all of that was
everything
happening. But that didn't happen. And then I walked in, and then he's fine, and all that. And he just handed me this
Small, tiny boy.
To be honest, I was like, where's the remaining?
Can you imagine?
No, because I don't know. I've never really experienced. I've never really, even though my sisters have had kids,
Yeah.
I've never been there. Like,
Get a
first
newborn,
day.
a fresh born.
exactly. So, like,
And they're so tiny.
you know, we've only probably seen it in movies, and maybe they're not even.
They're not as
They're
small
not
as
as
that.
small.
Exactly.
Yes. In movies.
So seeing him in real was like, and then he just take. Then he told me to pull off my shirt to do skin to
Yeah,
skin.
skin to skin.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. So this is it. Wow. So it was super emotional for me. I don't think that words can really explain how I felt. It was, I teared up again as usual because they left. I could be very emotional. They left me and him just together in a room, and then I just kept looking at him and put him forward like,
You're real.
Damn. And put him back again. It was such a beautiful emotional moment, to be honest. Now I'm thinking about it. I'll try not to tear up.
Please don't.
For me, it was a different experience. For me, I was in there.
From the beginning.
I like what you said.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. And you know, I already had this, which I didn't show to my wife.
Okay.
This feeling that, what is it going to be like?
Mhm.
So the anxiety wasn't just for I was also feeling that.
Mhm.
How is it going to be? I'm going to watch this young woman.
Yeah.
He will go through pain. He can't bleed. I'm going to have to see blood. I'm going through all of that. So I have to prepare myself. But you can only prepare, but the reality is different. So for him there, it wasn't a short process. It was quite a long process. At some point, I would say to myself, "What have I done?
What have I done?"
Who asked me to do this?" I mean, because when I see her go through pain, she went through a lot of pain, and I asked myself, "How could I do this to somebody's daughter?"
And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, honestly, because sometimes my wife says, when she's talking about a second child, again, I'm like, I pitied you. I pitied you many times, you know, and I felt genuinely bad for you. Because there was a time, even during the pregnancy period, she was so lean, you know, and nobody understood what was really going on in the house. I was pitying you. And I'm talking almost, stop it.
Don't do it.
Stop it, dear. Come on. Joe. Have you forgotten what you went through?
So soon. So it was that kind of, you know, feeling. Let's forget that I couldn't sleep. We had to. The baby came in the midnight. I've been in the hospital since morning, and it was quite. But something happened dramatically. I don't know where that strength came from. I didn't like the sight of blood, but I almost became another doctor in the
I don't know how that happens, but it's some kind of strength.
Transformation in my mind, and I saw the reality of things. And what I couldn't do before, I started telling my wife, I could see the baby coming, you know, I could see the egg, hold on. And when she finished giving birth, the doctor and the midwife said, we had another doctor. It was just amazing.
So the Dr. Steve is,
you know,
what's all now? I knew it.
So it was, the strength was there, you know, there was no sleep coming. my wife would say, "Hold this place." You can imagine that moment, and from that point, that's why there's something called PTSD.
Yeah.
It's not only for those that go to work. As a father, you go through that kind of experience. You don't want to go near your wife for some time because you don't want to relieve that kind of moment.
And sorry, I just genuinely think that this what you're saying is not talked about enough. Like this part where we genuinely pity. I'm saying it again because you love someone so much and you don't want them to go through anything. Yes, you know that what came out from them is a gift from God.
Yeah.
But the process looked painful, looked traumatic.
But it's us that will still want another one.
I don't know how you.
I want to understand. Like
I know people keep saying that. Like Yoruba will say, "I don't feel that basic." Like you will forget. So as I am now, my son is 1 year 7 months.
Okay.
I would say that my own birth process gave me PTSD. Like I was there when someone else gave birth, like not give birth, when someone else went through labor. Because I remember my mother-in-law was saying, Joba should live there, or that when usually they say that when you haven't given birth before, you shouldn't be where another woman is having.
So you don't get scared.
So you don't get scared.
Oh.
I remember my mother-in-law was saying I shouldn't be there because my sister, when my son was giving birth, I was there and helping her with the bag and all that. But I told my mother-in-law that I think my own birth gave me the PTSD, not somebody else's birth. But as I sit here now, I can remember everything that I went through, but I can't remember the pain.
Or maybe the joy.
No, because even after I gave birth to my son, a few months down the line, I remember 6 months down the line, I could still relieve the pain. But right now, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's happening, but I can't.
I'm sorry, but I have to say you're weird.
Like I know that it wasn't funny, but I can't. Unlike before, I could tell you that this was exactly how I feel. Like I could relieve it. But right now I can't. I can only tell you that, okay, this was what happened. But I can't
maybe
feel
that's where we're different, because right now I can still remember every single
I can't remember. You know the way someone will hurt you.
Yeah, you remember, but
you know the way someone hurts you, and when you're telling someone else, you can still feel, when you've not forgiven the person totally, you can still feel the pain.
Okay.
That's how it was for me for like 6 months. I could still feel, but now I can tell you everything that happened without the feeling.
Okay. I can still feel the pain.
Exactly. Same as me. I can feel the pain on your behalf.
Yes.
In case people forgot, I can feel it for you.
But we're going to have and down. Don't worry. Dr. Steve, did you cut the cord?
Yes, I did. I was the one that caught it.
Was it easy? Because
Was your hand shaking? Man?
Yeah.
my mother was saying that it's not as not
Easy to cut.
It's thicker than
It's
we
thick,
imagine.
of course. It's thick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what he
It's
said. So I wanted to ask that.
It's
I
not,
missed
it's not
that
something that
experience.
cut.
Yeah.
So
you have to like
put
a
some
rope,
effort
like
to cut
a
it.
what's that? Jungle rope or something.
I mean, living in this part of the world, you feel everything.
Everything.
But I'm sure that your second child, you will be there.
Yeah, I definitely must be there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
My God's grace.
Definitely.
What surprised you the most about labor and delivery? Is there something that like really, really stood out? I'm sure. I mean, you guys prepared and stuff, but when you were actually going through it,
You know what surprised me the most? Okay. Yeah, even though the baby looks so small, but you can imagine. I just imagine something not so small, but that big, coming from a particular place. I don't know how.
I don't know.
Let me just.
oh my
like
God!
this
Why am I the only woman in this place?
No. I'm just gonna say right here that women are superheroes.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all do, but honestly, you are superheroes. I don't know how that comes out of your body. I don't know how you could do it, but you're amazing, to be honest.
This came from.
Yeah.
You're making me feel very uncomfortable.
No, but it's just a wonder of God.
Yeah,
It is.
For not even the passage, but to be in someone that you know, like this has been in you,
Wow.
and it's coming out, and it's a wonder.
And then you remember the times where he used to kick
Yeah.
You know, and then
And sometimes you see
the palms, the hand on
on the
the
belly,
belly, yeah.
and all of that. These
Yeah.
are amazing things. And so these are surprising things for me. They are quite amazing. I call them the wonders of God.
It is
I think it's the wonder. That's
The
one.
wonder.
That has to be like the main,
Yeah, the main
the wonder, because I don't think anything beats, that.
childbirth.
I don't think anything beats it, and I really just pray that everyone who genuinely Once it experiences it.
Yeah.
that's my genuine prayer.
Yeah. I usually say that it's not something that you can explain.
No, you can't.
You can only try, but you cannot explain that explicit feeling that this is, we are caretakers, but this is yours. So how did you feel when you leave in the hospital? Because I remember I had a feeling of we're not dropping this boy. You were actually going with us. So how was it for you?
Well, if I'm going to start, I think because another thing is that we spent a couple of weeks there in the hospital before we came back. Maybe 2-3 weeks, I don't remember. So it was a long stay. It was stressful, to be honest. But thankfully it was a good experience at the end of the day. But I really don't think words can explain it. First of all, as new parents, there's just this confusion at some point, like the navel, what it's called, and then there's that, and this and that, and then considering that you don't really have your family members around you, so that pretty much heightened the anxiety that we pretty much had at the time. But I think it was just a lot of God. This is you.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think that I've trusted God. I have trusted God many times, but I don't think anything has made me trust God as much, as this childbirth experience. I really don't think anything else has made me trust God that much, and it helped. I think it drew me closer to God, to be honest, if I have to say it did. Yeah, in that regard.
Yeah, I agree. Leaving the hospital, the reality of taking a life, can we actually do we really know what to do?
Do we know what to do?
With this woman.
Kill and she gone.
It means that we have to start dating the baby. I've never done this before. I haven't done it before. How do we? So when does it hit? All those things. Like in the hospital, you could get help.
Yes, you get help.
But now we're going to do this alone. Do we know what to do? Are we sure we're not going to mess things up?
And it's so tiny.
Yeah, so tiny.
How am I sure it won't just
Exactly.
God, please,
So that feeling, there's a feeling, because for me, it was at the heat of the pandemic, COVID, and there were lots of regulations. So after the delivery, I couldn't stay there until so I had to go home, prepare everything, light the candle,
welcome home.
Yeah. Mr. Romantic.
But when I was leaving the hospital, then all those romantic moments I cannot remember, because I started to think that this is going to be a whole lot. We don't know what to do. Of course, we've read a lot. I have read a lot, several things, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
Sure.
And so, like you said, maybe the feeling of uncertainty that you don't have all the knowledge.
Sure.
And there's no help around.
Sure.
So that would also, of course, overwhelm you. And that's the feeling. Are we going to know what to do? How do we dress him up? All those
For the differences.
I would say the first time I bathed my baby.
How old was he?
The first time. He was no.
How many weeks?
We bathed him. No. How many days you should ask?
Oh, days, right.
Yeah, I think I started bathing him for the first week.
Wow.
When we got home.
And
the first date was almost it was an experience. It was an experience.
Oh my God.
I had to call my mother and put him on
video call.
And
thank God for technology.
Stop. Look at what is happening. It was quite a whole lot of things. But it kept getting better. So that feeling from the hospital was just amazing. Like, how am I going to do it? it's a mixture of joy,
and uncertainty,
lack of knowledge,
yeah,
fear.
thinking you don't know enough.
Exactly, fear. The first night, I remember I didn't sleep because I kept looking every minute. Is it still breathing?
Is it still breathing? I know, right?
Yeah.
We all do that.
I'm telling you.
I still do once in a while. So you good?
Especially when you see videos of people who had very horror stories.
Is it breathing? And you know that sometimes it's possible that the baby breathing pattern is not yet regular.
Regular, yeah. So sometimes it's fast to go. And so it's pause.
Are you still there?
Then you just okay.
You're still there. For a moment there. Oh my god.
Oh my god. It was an experience, to be honest.
It's still an experience.
It is. And many times it just comes again in my mind, and like, wow, I really went through that,
And from what you guys have said now, I take it that you guys didn't get help at all.
No, we did. Well, for instance, for bathing my child, we did. And Jesus, I am so grateful to God for that. In fact, but God bless you. I want to yourself. God bless you. She knows herself, because I think that really helped a whole lot. That helped a whole lot. And we had people who would come around the house, cook, take care of the baby, take care of Rachel. So we got some help, but you can't compare that help to the one that you get from
like I said, it was pandemic.
Yours was even worse.
No, everybody is careful.
Nobody can visit you.
Nobody can visit.
Yeah, that must have been tough, bro.
Yeah, even those who would like to help would also consider that I don't want to be a problem for this guy.
And you can't expose the
newborn.
So
you have to do everything.
It was a whole lot of experience.
I feel like the way you guys are talking here, it's almost the same feeling for me as speaking. I can't speak for all moms, but I mean speaking for myself, it's almost the same feeling as I had, like the feeling of fear, anxiety. What are we going to do? Are we sure we know it right? I mean, we had read and watched everything that I could watch.
I think my YouTube and my wife's YouTube channel
was just delivery.
Is baby. My Instagram feed, baby birthday,
But I'm just trying to say that I feel like to a certain extent, the men and the women go through almost the same emotion. Maybe I would say different degrees, because of course we now have the hormones flying all about the place. But
sure.
The fact that something is inside of kicking at some point.
Exactly. But I feel like to a very good extent, I mean, we go through pretty much emotions like confusion, anxiety, not sure what's happening.
Yeah, but with the men, we hide these things
because you have to be there for the people actually.
And the society maybe sometimes might not also be very fair on men sometimes, thinking that what have you done? Man, you're not the one carrying.
I've heard that many times. Show are you the one that carried the child?
What's wrong
I'm
with
like,
you?
I'll leave you to the Lord. You don't know what you're saying. I'll leave you to the Lord.
Maybe with right knowledge, people would also understand that the men are actually not useless in the process.
No, they are not. I can say that categorically, because this thing that you said that why would I want to put somebody's daughter through something like this?
Yeah.
I remember my husband would say a lot of things like, I wish I could take it from you. I wish that I could like hold the baby and then hold the fetus in your womb, and then you just this pain that you are going through, and I cannot do. I think one of the things I've come to understand over time is, I don't know if I can speak for all men, but I'm sure you guys will agree, is that the fact that you can actually not do anything. Bro. Like, your wife is going through this pain and all you can do is, sorry. This one. And I
start speaking in tongues for you.
I feel like, because I've spoken with some men that I know that are present and, involved with what's happening with their wives and their family. I know that a lot of the things that they say is, I wish I could do more than say sorry. Or what can I do?
That's the main painful part
Yeah.
True.
that you cannot do something
Yeah.
about it. True. It's really painful.
I
It
can
is.
imagine.
It is actually.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I should just take the pain and put it on myself.
Yeah.
If someone has to go
Yeah,
through it.
because I know that my husband always says this thing that I wish I could just do the like, but I can't. It's just sorry, and I feel that's why I was, because when each time I think about this thing, I'm like, okay, I need to speak with men so that people will know that yes, they are not the ones that physically carry the child, but they also go through just as much as we go through. Because I feel like it's even more crippling the fact that you cannot do
Can't do anything.
anything.
Right.
You know, and you have a point because you know, when the baby eventually came, hey Rachel, congrats, huh? Like, so you only go congratulate me? Sure. Like,
We did this together.
like, what's up? Hey Rachel, congrats. Like, are you not seeing me? What's going on? So, and sometimes I'll be like, can't you congratulate me? And I'm like, hey, what did you do? I say, are you gonna carry the child? Like,
Okay.
I'm not going to argue with that.
I hear you, man. There's nothing I would say that would justify or, make any sense by hearing you. So, I mean, you have a very good point. And it's good that we're, what's that word? That we're making this known to people. So, I mean, I just want to tell men, look, I'm a very domesticated person. I think I've always been like that since I was a child. So right from even before pregnancy came, plates, sweep, whatever. The only thing I probably don't do is cook.
Oh, I do.
So I told my wife, I said, look, I really don't know. I'm not such a great cook.
Mm-hmm.
So you handle that part, but I promise that every other thing I would handle it. So you don't have to stress about, meaning that the days where we don't have to cook, maybe we order food or we tell someone, hey, cook for us, that means that you literally almost don't have anything to do. So I'm just saying, men, look, don't say because you're the father of the house or head of the home or king of the land, then washing plates. Then you can't wash plate. No, I work 2 jobs. So trust me, I'm extremely, I can't remember how many times I've been working.
Mm-hmm.
I work in the sitting room and then I'm doing the dishes, I'm cleaning. I don't know. I think that period just taught me how to multitask.
Mm-hmm.
And some way, somehow, at the end of the day, you didn't break down. Like, I don't even know where this strength is coming from.
Yeah, I like the domesticated part.
Be extreme, even
Be involved.
be involved completely. Be
It's not
involved.
just a woman's job.
Absolutely.
I think it's some wrong mindset.
It is.
I feel like a lot of, I don't know how, I feel like I think it's a bit better now. It's just that I feel like a lot of the men need to be things need to be explained more to them to understand that the fact that you are hands-on, the fact that you are domesticated doesn't make you less of a man.
It doesn't.
As a matter of fact,
it makes you more
it
of a
makes
man.
you more of a man. The woman respects you more. And just like I was listening to a sermon that Pastor Hinty was saying that the woman doesn't have a problem submitting.
Sure.
It's who she's submitting to.
There's a problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Because if every time you come here and say I'm the man of the house,
Now you've actually
what are you doing
sound like
to
a
me?
broken
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're both domesticated men.
No, look, I'm not. If that's one thing I'm not. If there's anything I'm not ashamed of to tell fellow men, be domesticated.
Yeah.
It doesn't take anything from you. Clean your house, except of course you've grown to the point where you can, hire maids or have money for that. But come on, look at your wife and be like, I don't want to stress this girl.
And I feel like, see, the more you are the more you are domesticated, like I know that there's this thing that people say that women are always tired when it's time to
do the do.
Yeah.
I get you. I know what you're talking about. You gotta tell me. I know.
So there's this thing that they say. I'm not.
I mean, why would she be tired?
She'll be tired.
Everything.
No, that's
so the more you do,
you're a wicked. Look, you're a wicked man. If you let your wife do everything, look, even before the whole baby thing, just come on.
Two people that be sweet though. You know people that don't know how to do it.
Honestly.
I mean, just absolutely teach us.
I will.
Okay, so how did you prepare for fatherhood? The whole shebang.
I want to
so that
Okay.
Expecting fathers can.
Fatherhood is something that looks like you learn on the job as well.
Sure.
Yeah, but for me, in preparation, read books. Like I think we've
Yeah.
mentioned some of this.
Watch
Read
videos as
books,
well.
watch videos, speak to people who are already into it. Get yourself ready. But the larger part of the learning is on the job.
Sure.
Okay.
Your child will teach you patience.
It's patience. I've heard it.
Yeah, you would think that you're patient. I've always thought I was.
And bet me, Dr. Steven is patient.
So so on the job you learn. There are a lot of things I've learned now that I didn't read them in books because children are different.
Yeah.
They have different temperaments and different personality,
Yeah.
which is different from another child. And one of the things I had to learn quickly is never to compare your child with another child.
Yeah.
So you could. So a lot of those things I learned on the job. If it's the first time, I want to use the word carefully. There'll be a lot of trial and errors.
They will, actually.
They will.
So it started getting better. It starts getting better from the second child. You already know what to expect. Even though the children will be different. But at least you have an idea of what to expect. So for me, that's exactly how I can describe it.
And I would say, I think just to add to what you said is, even though you learn on the job, also is trial and error. But when you are not sure, you are still open to learning, asking, just confirm. Because I remember I called you guys quite a number of times to confirm about circumcision, how does it feel, and things like that. And just being open to the fact that even though it's trial and error, being open to the fact that when people tell you things, you are open to learning, but also knowing when to sift out.
Yeah, that's saving out
Yeah.
is very important.
Very
because
important.
you have
So many information.
options and information
Yeah.
in different places. You could read. You go on the internet. You could read 3 different articles on a particular subject.
Sure.
And they are
Different.
diverging opinions. So you could get confused at some point, and people can also have different experiences, and from the experience, they want to tell you how to do it.
Sure.
It's
Trust.
good.
The thing is that as a parent, you always want the best for your child.
Sure.
So you should also trust your own daughter as well. Trust yourself. When you see something is not right, like you mentioned, ask questions. But a lot of time you're right because you're the parent. God gives you this kind of ability to know, certain things, but it doesn't displace the place of learning, asking questions, reading books, going for classes,
getting professional help as
professional help.
Sure.
And all of that.
And very importantly, man, hold on to God. Let the Holy Spirit just be your best friend at that point. I mean, every time, of course, but I'm emphasizing it, for context sake. Hold on to God. And just complete. I always say that God, if you, like I said before, like you said before, if you gave me this gift, because I know you don't make mistakes, that means you, to some extent, know that I have the ability and capability and all of that, little whatever, to to handle or take care of this child. So all I have to do is just rely on you completely, and that's one thing that we do all the time. And of course, sometimes it's you can get tricky at some point, and then you might get carried away. But go back to the source.
I agree.
So, is there anything you would do differently? Looking at 4 months, 4 months plus 9, that would be 13 months.
Right.
And Dr. Steven, 3 years plus plus 9 months.
A lot of learning, a lot of things.
What would you do differently?
The first thing I'll do differently is when we first had our baby, he was sleeping. We brought his cot into
the room.
It was the first one. So he should have his room. He had his room. We wanted to see. That I won't do anymore.
I don't think my wife will agree to that.
Really?
I don't know.
I think because
they like breathing. They tell them to breathe oxygen. I don't sleep on that. They don't sleep on that bed. They need to breathe oxygen. So I don't know. I don't think she's gonna agree to that.
Because it saves a lot. And it helps the intimacy with the wife, because at that time, naturally the attention goes to the child.
True.
So if you don't manage that period very well, there could be
a bit of
gap
True.
between the husband and the wife. So that I think it's important. I won't do it.
Okay, I feel.
Except, like you said, if my wife would not agree, but I think she will agree. No.
So I chose,
I know.
and I think I sacrificed, our intimacy to some extent, just so that I had a lot of people asking, so you don't sleep in the room with your wife again? Like, bro, I don't think I'm not sure you want. How do I construct this in English? You don't want to sleep. You don't.
I'm not sure you want me to.
You don't want this for me more than I want it for myself, because I miss this, bro. But when I consider the fact that she has to stand up, and then it's just a lot of work, really. So put him on the bed, because even the cot is pretty high.
Yeah.
So then she has to roll, but this one, when he sleeps, there's a sleep bed like this. So once he cries, she knows she can just remove and then turn, and he just sleeps off again.
So what would you do differently, Joe?
Maybe nothing differently. Maybe just better, if that's the word. Like, I did this to this level, but I want to do it more.
Better.
Yeah, maybe that, but not necessarily differently.
Or maybe what I could do differently is to ensure that one of the grandmothers comes.
I was about to say so.
Yeah, that one I should.
I was about to say so that maybe I'll get another. Maybe what I'll do differently is come from another country. my parents.
One of them they have to be one of them.
Yeah, but that also depends on certain factors like visa and all that. Coming in and all. Yeah.
So, what would you advise to expecting fathers be?
Don't be afraid. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because don't be afraid. You'll be good. You'll be alright. Hold on to God. Like your life depends, because it does actually. And don't be. Another thing is, don't be. Drop your pride. I know men could be egotistic at some point. Comes up once in a while. Be more in tune with your emotions. That's on that point where, your emotional part, because men are mostly logical, but your emotional part will be tested. So more often than not, bring it out. Let your wife see that because sometimes they don't even know what's happening to them.
Yeah.
So you want to be more in tune with. She's screaming. You don't want to scream at her back. Maybe that's one thing I'll do differently too, because there were times where it was new for me. So she might show some kind of stuff, and I was like, why are you doing this? I'm a very logical person. I'm the kind of person that exactly. So I like that.
Are you into IT?
I'm not actually.
I think all men are.
But that's just how I am.
Kind of.
Worse.
Okay.
So I just think that, and then my wife knows I'm big on behaving well. Jesus, I'm big on look. I am so you know how they always say, what's your first date questions?
Yeah.
If I go way back in time, the first date question: do you behave well? Do you used to misbehave? Are you a mad person? And that's why I married the kind of person I married, because she's not all that. But of course, pressure, like I said, could just make them act certain ways. Hormones and all that, could make them act certain ways. So I think I would just say to intending fathers or expecting fathers, just be more patient, be more in tune with your emotions. And hey, look, I think another thing I want to say is, I've had many discussions with guys, and they're always concerned about how the baby will be taken care of. Look, don't worry, you'll be fine. I think this is the reason why holding on to God is so important, because if He gives you the child, He will provide all that is necessary to take care of that child. So
I would say enjoy the moment.
Right.
It runs very fast.
It does.
I can say so.
I mean, I want it to run fast.
You miss it, Joe. You miss it.
Well. So I mean, these are things you have to expect.
Yeah.
And then, like you mentioned, I like when you said that. Don't be afraid. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
We said so many things today. We're not afraid. We're just reliving all these experiences and how we have felt in the whole process. But it's really beautiful, and it's something to expect. It's not something to be afraid of.
Sure.
God will provide all you need, including the wisdom that you need to take care of your child. So I would advise, to be parents, It's only God.
Oh,
And husbands, please, you need a lot of patience.
absolutely.
You need a lot of patience. You need to understand your wife even more. It's not going to be very easy, the emotional changes and all that. And you have to be there to help at every stage. You don't want a depressed woman.
No, you don't.
After childbirth, there's a lot of things going on in the woman. She still has to go through. See, the pain in the labor room, I don't know if it's as much as the pain in the first 1 month. The body has to heal. There's a lot of things going on there.
Our breasts are paining us. We still have to
Everything
feel.
is painful, and so that's even the time you have to be more understanding.
Some people will say they still want to sleep with their wife in that 1 month.
No, look,
that's
if you are
So
like
men.
that, you are a wicked man. Come on.
It beats my imagination how.
I've heard of it many times. Like, what are you saying? Come on, like, to be honest, even till now, I'm still scared because I don't know. Maybe till 1 year before, or 2 years before my mind would fully agree that okay, this space is all good now. But why after a few weeks you want to end? Come on, I promise you will not die if you just
hang in there.
Don't try celibacy inside
It
your
works,
marriage.
right?
It does. You'll be fine.
At least you were celibate before
marriage. If you were. Just in case you weren't, the Lord is
You can still try.
but you can try. But come on, don't be demanding that. Oh, you're open your leg. I've been waiting. Stop now, bro. Don't do that, fam.
It's not nice.
That's very. I feel like that's wickedness. To be honest. You have to understand that it's a sacrifice on her end and on your end. So, and of course, even during the pregnancy period, her sexual desires, honestly, may be very toned down a lot. So at different stages,
trimesters,
exactly. So
at some point it will go down.
mhm,
At another time it will go
it will go
high.
very
So
high.
you have to be ready to change with all the
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I know what you're talking about, bro. You relate, man.
There's something called long suffering.
Long time.
You need it.
That's why I tell someone. I said I really do think that marriage is one of the places where you really do learn the fruits of the spirit a lot. Because listen, I don't think anything teaches you long suffering, patience, love, gentleness, meekness, all of those
Self-control.
I don't think anything teaches you all of those better than marriage and parenthood. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So
If you ever get overwhelmed, because those times will come,
no, they will come.
just pray.
Mhm.
Just ask God to help you.
Sure.
God will still that storm in your heart.
Mhm.
So you like I think you mentioned that this is going to be a time where you have to be closer to God.
Sure.
You have to be more spiritually aware.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be sensitive to what is happening around you. You have to be conscious, and you need a lot of discernment.
Sure.
In that period, because there are times when the devil will want to take advantage of the emotion of the woman
Absolutely.
or your own feeling that I've taken too much of this,
Mm-hmm.
and then the devil wants to take advantage of that. So you have to be really, really aware of the devices of the devil. Great.
So yeah, get help if you need help.
Mhm.
If fatherhood is becoming too overwhelming, talk to somebody. Get professional help. Pray. I go by praying. But sometimes I know that we're human beings and we need to just let it out. So get someone to talk to. I always say get a community, have friends, people that you can trust. Don't do life alone. You don't have to do life alone. I always say this every time.
Sure.
You don't have to do that. It can be just one person. Just get people that you know that, like Joe said,
Mhm.
you can trust, that won't, they're not there for the gossip. They're actually listening to what you are saying.
Yeah,
And
They want to
want
actually prefer a solution.
They're quite objective about things.
objective about it. Exactly. Thank you so much.
It feels like we should not go.
Guys, you won't believe it. It is almost 10:30 p.m.
Wow.
The ministry has to continue.
It does.
But thank you so much, guys.
Thank
I
you
really
so
appreciate you guys coming. Thank you so much. I hope to bring you guys again.
Yeah, sure, anytime.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to comment and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Leave your comment. Let us know what you think. Are you a new father? What was it like for you? Are you an experienced father? What has it been like for you? Are you an expecting father? What are your expectations? And what did you take out of this video? Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Jesus loves you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.